Just hold it right there. I hope I'm not chasing you away, and on the assumption that I am not, even though I am making a lot of meaningless gestures, ignore that. We all, after all, have 5 fingers, and who cares? But, be that as it may, and I doubt that it is, I for one, and T for two, which, not wish, which. As Jerry Luce used to say, I had my nose fixed and now my mouth doesn't work. Anyway, I wish you would watch.
Ben loves Chicago.
Yes, Ben loves Chicago, and Chicago loves Ben, and that's what I call doing it again.
Ben loves Chicago. Ben loves Chicago. I do.
Instant talk show with Mike Wallace and Betty White.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's star time. Right here at the Museum of Broadcast Communications, it's the 10-year anniversary. What a great place for an instant talk show with the stars. Hi, this is Ben, and we're at Instant Talk Show at the Museum of Broadcasting, and with me is...
Betty White. Whoa. Nice to see you.
I'm Smoozy Kurtz.
You are...
Barbara Billingsley.
Wait a minute, I think I have the name wrong. I'm sorry, Steve Allen.
I love Chicago. I grew up here professionally. I come from Boston.
What are the folks out there most familiar with in terms of your work?
What are they familiar? Oh, Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah, you were Mom.
Barbara Billingsley.
That's right. I can talk jive, though.
All right, we're back, and I'm with... Betty, what do you love about Chicago?
Well, I was born here for one thing. Actually, I was born across the street from Chicago at the West Suburban Hospital, which is technically in Oak Park.
I'll bet Chicago loves Ben then, if you're going to be that way about it.
I love coming back here. It's perfectly beautiful.
It is the city of the broad shoulders. I love its buildings. I love the near north side where I lived.
It's my hometown. I was not born here, but spent most of my early life here. Always feels good to be back.
Do you remember any particular corners or neighborhoods where you hung out or did certain things?
First of all, I lived at 1209 North State Parkway.
When I was a little kid, which was, I don't think Illinois was a state yet. I don't think it had been admitted to the Union. But people used to say bad things about Chicago, and now everybody says it's the jewel in the crown.
You're considered by some the dean of the great late-night talk shows. What tips have you got for this racket?
Listen.
Don't just run on as I'm doing now.
You have to be reasonably articulate, of course, so that rules out about 80% of the American population.
Give the interviewee the sense that you know a great deal about him.
At least a minimum degree of intelligence, and you're certainly more than qualified for that.
We've just met Ben for the first time. I would imagine you have a certain understanding of where I came from, what I've done, and what I care about, and that shows.
Well, I think you're doing it right, if you're talking about how to host one.
One last thing, Betty. I just think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing with the clinic and helping all the addicts with their problems, and all the famous people that have come through your own personal battles with addiction, and it's just a marvelous thing you're doing. What is it about that keeps you going?
If you'll excuse me now, I'm just going to go over and get a drink. Excuse me.
Wait a minute. That's Betty Ford. Oh, I'm sorry. Was Beaver's upbringing dysfunctional in any way?
No, not at all. His father was a principal of the school.
We're celebrating great moments in television history. What was one of yours, either as a participant or as just a viewer?
Well, I wish I could be better about answering questions of that sort. My internal computer tends to punch up about 147 instances rather than any one.
Do you want to reel off a bunch of them?
Nothing will ever equal the thrill of watching a man walk on the moon. I have to say that Leave It to Beaver was the most outstanding.
I remember interviewing Burt Lancaster once. It was live on tape, way back about 35 years ago.
Needless to say, I'm a big space nut.
In the research, I had learned that Burt had a hell of a temper. And I mean, he had really shown it. So I began to ask him questions about that.
They never showed the scenes where you guys were in your bedroom, behind closed doors.
We didn't have a bedroom. We
had a door. We had a door we came out of tying our robes. I often wondered what happened.
He said, I came here to talk about the Birdman of Alcatraz. And so I said, we're going to get to that, Bert, right after the commercial break.
Even if we were the ideal family, it seems to me they ought to have had a little joy in the bedroom, don't you think?
Sure.
And I got the feeling that if I wasn't careful, he was going to belt me.
Do you ever get the feeling that there's more tension in the air than you can stand?
He says, there ain't going to be no commercial break. Got up, walked out. It's the only time it ever happened.
You look a little like my stepmother, Jane Hollis. Anybody ever tell you that before?
No, but I'm delighted to know, poor baby, she'll outgrow it.
What's a bad interview? What's going wrong in a bad interview? Or some examples?
Hang in there, Blood. We're going to catch up on the rebound on the mid-side.
That's the exact.
That's the answer. I've been there, yeah. Anything else I forgot?
Nah.
I can't think of anything else excepting I love being here and how nice you look.
Well, thank you. Hey.
And I'm sure it's a good show.
Just got the cue from the floor director.